Hey everybody, welcome to night number 8 of Pennsylvania Sprint Speedweek. Tonight we were back at Williams Grove Speedway for stop number 2 at the Mitch Smith Memorial. $20,000 to win tonight. Let's get right into it. We started off the night with 32 cars signing in the pit area. That set up 2 flights of time trials. Kicking things off in Flight A, your top 5 looked like Chase Dietz, Troy Wagaman Jr., Brady Bacon, Anthony Macri, and Brett Marks. Your top 5 in Flight B of time trials looked like this: Ryan Newton, Tanner Holmes, Dylan Norris, Cameron Smith, and Doug Hammaker. Chase Dietz ended up being the fastest overall, and with that, we were ready to go into our heat races. Heat number 1 saw Brady Bacon and Brett Marks on the front row. Marks got to the early race lead, but Samuel Miller slowed to a stop on the front stretch because his seatbelts came loose, so we had to re-rack him and do it again. This time around, Bacon got the jump. Marks tried to get the lead out of turn 2, but he couldn't get there. Dietz jumped up to third, and the field began to spread out. Parker Scott and Chad Trout had a little bit of a battle, and after Trout made a mistake, Parker Scott was able to get by. That was pretty much the last pass of heat race number 1. Rumsey tried to make a move on Dietz, but he just couldn't get there, and that was just it. Brady Bacon won, followed by Brent Marks, Chase Dietz, Logan Rumsey, and Buddy Schweibens. Heat 2 saw Anthony Macri and Ryan Smith on the front row. Macri got out to the early lead after almost contact on the front straightaway. Mikey Thompson made a mistake in 1 and 2, which allowed Logan Wagner to capitalize and take the final transfer spot. And that was the last pass of Heat 2. The track was still young and still had a lot of grip to it. By the end of the night, the track did widen out, and the feature was absolutely amazing. But there wasn't a lot of passing in the heat races. Anthony Macri took home the win, followed by Ryan Smith, Justin Woodall, Troy Wagaman Jr., and Logan Wagner. Heat number 3 saw Dylan Norris and Doug Hammaker on the front row. Hammaker was able to get out to the early race lead. Ryan Newton, Austin Bishop, and Freddie Raymer had quite a battle going on for that third spot. Newton got the best of it, and Raymer settled in 4th. Lance DeWeese and Brock Zierfoss had a little bit of a battle for the 6th spot. Zierfoss got in the rough stuff, which gave DeWeese a little bit of breathing room. Raymer had a small battle with Ryan Newton, but he couldn't get the run to make the pass. And that was pretty much it for passing until the white flag lap. Freddie Raymer slowed to a stop from the 3rd spot. This caused a one-lap dash to happen. On the restart, Lance DeWeese got a horrible start and lost to the 5th position, and he ended up falling back to 7th. Doug Hammaker took the win, followed by Dylan Norris, Ryan Newton, Austin Bishop, and Brock Zierfoss. Your 4th and final heat race of the night saw Cameron Smith and Logan Schuchart on the front row, a pair of Sharks. Smith got out to the early race lead. James McFadden looked to get by Logan Schuchart, but he couldn't get there. He was all over him most of the race, though. Meanwhile, Danny Dietrich was chasing Tanner Holmes down. On the first try to make the pass, Holmes slammed the door on the 48 car. Eventually, Dietrich did make the pass. But then the caution comes out for Cam Smith slowing from the lead. We go back to green with about 4 to go. Schuchart drives away with it. James McFadden looked in turn 1, but he couldn't get there. Danny Dietrich made a mistake, and he let Tanner Holmes back by. Later on, Holmes tried to make a move on James McFadden, but he couldn't. Logan Schuchart got the win, followed by James McFadden, Tanner Holmes, Danny Dietrich, and Preston Latimus. The B main saw Mikey Thompson and Cam Smith on the front row. Thompson got out to the early lead, and early on, DeWeese tried to make a move on Smith for that 2nd spot, and he did get it. As we complete the first lap, Troy Fraker spins in turn 4, causing the caution. The battle of the race was between Billy Dietrich and Parker Scott. That was for the final transfer. They were going at it for most of the race. Lance DeWeese eventually was able to get by Mikey Thompson for the lead, and the field began to spread out again. As we came to the checkered flag, Lance DeWeese took the win, followed by Mikey Thompson, Cam Smith, and Billy Dietrich stole the final transfer from Parker Scott out of turn 4, coming to the checkers. And then it was feature time. Anthony Macri drew the 1 in the redraw, putting him on the pole alongside none other than Chase Dietz. Macri was able to get out to the early race lead as Chase Dietz settled into 2nd. Tanner Holmes and Doug Hammaker had a good battle for several laps, and eventually Holmes was able to get the best of it. As we approach lap traffic, Macri is beginning to be chased down by Chase Dietz. Dietz was faster through the traffic, and by the time we were to lap 15, Dietz was all over the place. He had caught the 39M, and shortly after the caution came out, Doug Hammaker slowed to a stop from the 4th position, and this reset the field with 17 down and 13 to go. On the restart, Chase Dietz tried to make a move around the outside of Anthony Macri, but he was not able to get there as Macri was faster on the bottom coming out of 2. Also on the restart, Tanner Holmes dropped back to 4th after jumping the cushion, allowing Logan Schuchart to make the pass. Shortly after that, Tanner Holmes let James McFadden and Brent Marks make the passes, allowing Holmes to drop back to 6th. Back out front, Dietz and Macri were still going at it. Macri was able to hold the lead the entire time, and then things got interesting. Coming out of turn 4, coming to the checkered flag, Macri seemed to have a problem. He looked like he was coasting to the line after what seemed to be a mistake coming out of turn number 4, and it came down to the line. Macri was able to hold off Chase Dietz by 0.041 seconds. That is how close the finish was here tonight. Unfortunately, Dirt Vision missed it, but I'm going to put it on your screen here for a second so you guys can see it. I was able to catch it, thankfully. Anthony Macri took home the win, followed by Chase Dietz, Logan Schuchart, Brent Marks, and James McFadden rounded out the top 5. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for your recap here tonight. Williams Grove certainly delivered on night number 8, and that made up for the first Friday show because that was a snooze fest. And then there were 2 races left. Tomorrow night we head to Port Royal Speedway. I will be there for the penultimate night of Pennsylvania Sprint Speedweek 2026. And then Sunday to close things out, we head to Sealands Grove Speedway. I don't know if that one's going to happen. The weather's not looking too good. So this year might be a 9-night speed week, but that's okay. We made it this far without a rain out, so I'm not complaining. But anyways, I'm going to put the finish up here to close out this video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoy the content, please subscribe for more and leave a like on this video to let me know you enjoyed. Huge shout out to Joe Donahue for helping me by inspiring me to make these kinds of videos. Go subscribe to him. His channel will be in the description below. And yeah, that's going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. And here's what you guys have been waiting for. Here is the finish for those of you that missed it on Dirt Vision. Chris Grab, signing out.